Hey guys, welcome to the daily recap. Today is Monday, May 13, 2019. It's been a while since we did one of these, but I usually say the daily recaps for days that we have something to teach or something to learn, or days I lose and I want to teach, or days, Um, so we don't have a set schedule for the daily recaps. Today was a very slow day for small caps. So I want to just talk to you about that and how to trade these markets, man. These markets have been crazy. How much is the market down today, man? Is it down 600 points? 612 points. That doesn't include last week's carnage tank as well. So if those are asking how it feels like to trade in a bear market or a recession, this is it, man. People are scared. There's hardly any volume in small caps. If you're trading large caps, there's a lot of volatility, but it's tough when you wake up and it gapped down 500 points, right, guys? So, I mean, you're like, shit, how can I short this? It goes down. So sometimes, it's tough, in my opinion, for every type of trader. Uh, Bear, if you think it's easy to short in a small cap, I mean, in a recession or a bear market, think again. It's even more difficult. The reason why shorts work is overextension, right? You have to have meat. You have to have stocks that are like way like that's just parabolic up and is on a multi-day run and all that stuff, right? So it makes shorting much easier. But if you have a stock that doesn't go up, keeps going down, how can you chase? You can chase, I guess, but it makes the meat is not there. It makes trading much more difficult. Hey, WKS, let me see. I have an open order on this. But yeah, it makes trading much more difficult, man. Everything. You want stocks to go up. It's good for longs and it's good for shorts. Volume's good, guys. So today I wanted to teach you some stuff like, dude, I wake up and there's like hardly anything that's moving. Okay. And then when things are moving, like these two stocks right here, guys, these are the two ones I really wanted to short. I woke up, I mean, this is all market time, right? And it's like, dude, there's hardly any chance. The moment it broke 270, it just started tanking down. And I'm just waiting for it to pop back up to the 280 line to short. It just does not do it. So I'm like, dude, there's no trade. And then by the time the market opens, I'm like, dude, it's already at where I wanted to cover. This is the ideal cover spot. This is the low pivot line, 225. Look at the low, 221. So I wanted to go back to 240 so I could short the 250 line. Didn't do it. It went to here, but now we're during the zombie hour, 10:30. It's like, dude, hardly any meat. So today is pretty much like done for this. And same thing for TTNP. Once it broke the 185, never looked back. Nothing you can do, man. Welcome to bear country. You want stocks to go up a little bit so that you can have a good entry. It's just, how can you chase it, man? The market, this thing opened up at 9:30. It opened up at 177. I mean, you're already at the first line where you want to cover some. There's no meat left. You know what I'm saying? So this is how I use these pivots. I use these pivots as an entry, as also an exit. So each one of these lines I could be scaling out. So that's how I do that. So, but today's lesson is on, dude, what the hell do you do when you wake up and every single day is like this, right? Every single day you're like, dude, there's no opportunity for me as a long. There's no opportunity for me as a short. Let's take a look at the only long that is still alive, OPTT, which has 9 million volume. I mean, look at the range. You have a 10-cent scalp. For a short seller, this is no play, because the first thing you do is, you remember what we talked about. You have to go through your process, figure out what the float and all that stuff is. So usually when I wake up every morning, I look at my scanner and then I see what's moving. So today was OPTT. I'm like, dude, this float, I'm not touching this stuff, right? I'm gonna die. And then everybody's logging into everyone is longing the stock because this is the hot chick of the day. 9 million volume. It's like the highest floater guy. I mean, lowest float guy, but it doesn't go up. And you're thinking, why the hell doesn't it go up? So you go. I'm not a filings expert. I do a quick run through the filings to see if there's possible dilution. I see, dude, there's a new effective, man. So who knows? Are they selling this? So if you take a look at this effective, there's an S1. This is pretty new. So if you go to this S1 here, there's a bunch of shares, man. You can read up on this and warrants and all that stuff. And there's another one over here. So you don't know, man. It's like, dude, this thing to me looks like someone's selling as much as they can. But who knows? The fact that it's 1 million float and then there's also dilution, I'm just trying to see hindsight the reason why it's not moving up, right, guys? To me, I'm mainly a short seller. There's no play on this for me. I need meat. There's a million float. This thing is zombie right now. Who the hell knows? But from a long, if you're a long side, you know, you take some chances. You see there's a support here at 250. And it's just a channel that you're trading, man. You're just taking your 10 cent, which is no trade, man. It's just barely doing anything. So welcome to bear country. Welcome to a recession. This is how things look when we're in a bear market, right, guys? Which we haven't seen for like a decade. So this is what it is, man. You wake up and there's hardly anything moving. And then you're like, oh crap, look at the big caps, large caps. There's stuff that's moving. And then you jump in, you don't know what you're doing, and then you fucking get killed. So what do you do, right, guys? So I mean, I'm gonna show you what I did. So let's start with this, okay? I always like to remind everybody, dude, you have to stick to your process. Slow days, hot days. So days that there are like 10 things running, I do horrible. I tell you right now, I do horrible. That's because I try to nail all 10 trades. I fuck up my process. I deviate my process because I'm like, dude, I want to hit everything. I'm greedy. So those days kind of screw me up too. So those days that I see a ton of stuff running, I have to remind myself that focus, Val. Focus on maybe 3 plays. Focus, at least nail 1 play. Don't go around trying to nail 10 plays that you did not research. So I tend to make money on plays that I research pre-market, where I know the filings, I know the lines, I know the reason why it goes up, I know the technical analysis, I plan my trades, I put my fantasy orders out, I know what's going on. Those are the trades I make money, the ones I pre-plan, not the ones I see on scanner, I jump in, jump out. Those I do horrible because I panic, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, and then when I'm down, I keep adding to a loser, and that's what happens, man. When you don't plan for things as a human being, you just kind of like panic. And people panic differently. Some people panic. The best way to panic is to do nothing. If you are one of those guys that are fearful and then, you know, you panic by doing nothing in trading, that's the right thing to do. Okay? Unless you're already in a position. And then when you panic and you're stuck in that position and you don't react, you're going to lose. So, you know, panicking is just bad all around. So I'll give you an example. There's a stock, you know, like everyone was in KBIO. Everyone's like, oh, dude, no brainer short. This thing is dead. And then someone bought the float. Okay, Martin Shkreli bought the float out and then fucking squeezed from like $2 to like $22. If you fucking panic, you're dead. If you shorted that stock at $2, $3, and you panicked by not doing anything, you're dead. For me, dude, that trade, I was very fortunate to have a reflexive get the fuck out at all costs. I was short like maybe 15,000 shares at $253, which is nothing, a $30,000 position overnight. But that taught me a lot of lessons, okay? It was at 250, I was short maybe 15,000 shares, which is not much. I'm like, how much can I lose? If it goes up $1, I lose 15,000. When is that going to happen, right? Other people were lost short like 100,000 shares. But you know what, man? Cumulatively, the whole entire float was short. That's the stupidity of this. So That led me to make a lot of rules after the fact. Like, don't be holding short, super low float that anybody can come in and buy the entire float, right? So when I panicked, what I did was, oh my fucking God, thank God I was at my desk. And I started covering as much as I can. So I ended up covering 10,000 shares at $5. It went from $2.50 to $5 instantaneously. Okay, so my first reaction was, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. So I covered at $5.50. The last 5,000 shares, dude, it was so difficult to cover at $8. $8. So I went from $2.50 to $8 covering the last one. I ended up losing maybe $60,000 on that play. $60,000 on a $15,000 position. So I'd lost like double my money, and then it hit $22 after hours, man. It went to, so thank God my panic reaction was to get the hell out, take my loss and leave. So those that did nothing are stuck. And then there are guys that are panicking by adding more to a loser. Those guys even dead. There's different levels of dying. Okay, I survived. Right, my panic reaction is to just get the fuck out of the stock. I don't care how much I lost. Tomorrow's another day. Capital preservation. So that, in my opinion, is the way to properly panic if you want to survive the stock market. You want to panic, just get the fuck out, man. Run, live to fight another day. It's like running into a giant ass grizzly bear. When you panic, what do? I get the hell the way out. Run away. Other guys stay and wish for the best, and the bear will still kill you. And those other guys is like, okay, I'm gonna fight the bear. You're gonna die too. So you have to understand. So these are the scenarios that is always going through my head, guys, because I've been through this. So what you need to do in your trading is always have some sort of like panic exit. Okay. So every trade you think like, what if? It may never come. This is maybe a once in a lifetime kind of thing, or once every 5-10 years that it happens, but it will happen, man. So you figure out what it is. But we got kind of sidetracked, but I was just talking about panicking, right? And so I like to say this, let's get back to the topic at hand. So the topic at hand is, it's a slow day. A lot of people like to force trades and stuff, but dude, you have to stick to your process so that we're getting back to the same process. So my process is, you know what, man, when I'm wrong, I just need to get the hell out. Adding to loser doesn't really work. Just get the hell out. So that's my process. But okay, let's see what we're doing here now. So you got time to read this. So in trading, guys, is all about being humble. Being humble was able for me to say, I'm wrong. I got the hell out, even though it was a $60,000 loss from $2.50 all the way up to $5 and $8. But then if I stuck around, I'd be fucking blown out, dude. I know guys have lost millions on that. A 10-bagger loss, man. I mean, can't do it. So that's what I'm saying, man. You want to be successful, or do you want to have an ego? Market conditions change. Your thesis might be wrong. Conviction works until it doesn't work, and then you die. So, so be careful about being overly convicted. Always have a risk management. Risk management is the key. Don't be fucking fooled by these guys that say, oh, you have to be convicted. Oh, it's a badge of honor. I was down 200%, but I fucking stuck through it, man. I held through this. I was down $1 million, but I held it. I knew it was going to go back down. You don't want to be one of those guys. You want to just get the hell out, and then when it goes up, then you can re-enter. There is no ego. If I'm wrong on Tesla, I'm wrong on something, so be it, guys. There is no ego. I'm here to make a trade. Tomorrow, I'm not going to remember what the hell I traded today. Man, I go in and I go out. And that, there's many different ways to trade. Guys are trading for ego. I trade for money, guys. I don't trade for ego. I trade for money. And I trade for, support my family, myself, and not to be stressed out. This is not, days are exciting. Fuck, man. They're exciting a couple ways. They're exciting because, either you bank a lot of money or you're stuck in a trade and then you get out of that trade. But you know what, man? Those are not optimal thing. I like to be stress-free, make my money, and get the hell out. Every day is robotic and all that. And so that's what I want to talk about today. When things are slow, what the hell do you do, man? To me, today is just another day, to be honest. Today, I just happened to make less. Knock on wood. I don't want to knock on wood that, but instead of losing. But today was just another day. I just happened to make less. I stuck to my process, and I made less. So let's take a look at what I did today. I wanted to show you this because, like, dude, these days will keep coming. If the markets are weak like this, there'll be no volume for all that stuff. So first I'm going to show you is, I mean, I don't show P&L, but today I'm going to show it just because it's an exercise to show you what's going on. I mean, I didn't make much today at all. I traded very small. I made like $900. But when I look back at my career, when I graduated college as engineering with an engineering degree, my first job was $36,000 a year. $36,000 a year. That equates to $18 an hour. So if you take $18 times 8 hours of work, I made like $144 a day. As an engineer, 36,000. Right now, inflation, of course, maybe you make 60,000, which is $30 an hour. $240 a day, making 60,000 a year, right, guys? So when I look at this, I'm like, I got very spoiled over time. I'm like, dude, this doesn't even this is not. There should never be a quota every day, but human nature has it. Like, I like to make this every day. I like to make a certain amount, right, guys? And so sometimes you get greedy. It could be anything. You can start. So let's say it's $89 now. So let's say it's $89, and your goal is to make $200 a day, or so that you can keep your normal lifestyle, 60,000 a year lifestyle, right? And so you're like, oh shit, I didn't make enough. But that's how you start forcing trades and doing that. So I just want to show you this scenario, okay? Because I use very small size today because there was nothing that is optimal in my range. So I just did very small trades. And even those small trades, let's go back here. Even those small trades, guys, added up. I mean, I barely made any money on these stocks. But I traded, I mean, if you add them up, this is not bad. $900. I mean, unless you're comparing yourself to someone else. I mean, dude, if you fucking went to work and you made $900 in the first half hour, an hour, you leave, and you got the rest of your day to go to your second job or to do what you need to do. This is good money, right, guys? Can you guys still hear me, by the way? Making sure you guys hear me. So I just want to show you like some scalping stuff, dude, there's different scenarios for different types, okay? Like, there's really nothing today on my list to swing, even to position trade. Everything's already at the bottom. And so what do? So I just, I go back to my scalping. People give scalping a bad name, but I don't scalp every single day the way I do today. But even scalping today on like tiny shares added up $900. So let me see what we did today. Let's take a look at all these one by one, and then we can talk about that. So I want to show you, like, okay, man, this is, a lot of people banked on a bunch of other stuff they swing today, like LCI and all that stuff. But those are not my kind of stocks. I don't swing. I don't hold for weeks, and then hope it goes down. That's not. I'm in and I'm out, man. Some days I make a lot. Some days I make nothing. Some days I lose money. You just have to play within what is comfortable for you. I trade differently than everybody else. Alex trades differently, but you know what? We trade similarly. There's similarities between all the processes, similarity between the technical analysis and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, everyone has a different personality. I like to kind of like stick my toe all over. So days where, I end up losing a little bit like on plays because it's a feeler trade for me, right, guys? So that's just the way I am. I mean, I don't mind losing like a couple $100 to get the feel of the stock, because if it gets into my area, I see how it trades, and so that for me is an investment, But everyone's different, You can do feeler trades with tiny size, but or you just do nothing, and today be content with making zero. So let's take a look at what the heck I did today. Let's start with these are like CLRB. That's this guy. The CLP is like, I did this trade right before you guys came. It was basically nothing. It was more of a filler trade. I really want, so this is how I would want to trade the stock, CLRB. So I look at the start. When the stock opened at 9:30, it was hella low. I'm like, shit. So I really wanted to go to this 244 line, basically 250 line. 250 is a resistance. So that was the area I really wanted. It never made it, man. The high of day was 248, which I don't even know how it got up there. Maybe it was from the open. It tanked down at 9:30. It never got up. So when it went back up here, it was like 241. That was it. So I'll show you how I mean, this is just like piker stuff. Okay, really piker stuff. I mean, I trade tiny of these positions. That's why you see this. It's super tiny, man. So CLRB. Dude, all I feel was 25. I reduced down to nothing because I'm like, dude, there's hardly any meat. How much am I gonna make? So it was more of a filler trade. I really wanted to short a 240, a filler trade cover at 230, just make my 10 cent. It didn't happen. I made like tiny before the daily recap. When the daily recap started, I just covered, so I don't have to worry about it. But like, dude, that was nothing. So that ended up making $50. But it's like tiny shares. If you take a look, it's only 1,200 shares. I made $50. Which is like a tiny position, right? So that was pretty much a no trade. I don't consider these really trades. These are like just kind of nibble just to see. Hopefully, it'll do something. It doesn't do anything, right? So Gene was a little more. Let's take a look at Gene. Gene. Let's take a look at Gene. Let's put Gene over here. I'm showing you scalping stuff, guys, because who knows? It could have been bigger, but dude, I was just nibbling around to see what's going on. So here is Gene. I didn't do much at all. Once again, Gene. So this is the chart. So 130 was the line. I really wanted 140, 150. Okay, I'm like, please go up to 140 so I can start scaling so that I can add 150. So Gene, I really want it. On the day that the stock tanked, like everything tanked like this, I'm like, please bounce, please bounce. Of course it didn't. You got to take what the market gives you, man. So, I mean, I got up to like 123, 122. I mean, that was it. Nothing you could do. And then when it dropped down, I covered it. I did it twice. And it's like, dude, I barely made any money. It turned out I made, how much did I make? 341. So, I mean, I'm just showing you the fact that, I'm just taking the scalp, guys. Some days it's just like that. This is not me bragging about making money. This is obviously not making that much, but it's the fact that this is something you can do day in and day out. You can do this. And it doesn't require much size to make this kind of money. This, I was probably using 2,500 shares as a starter position. That's it. I really wanted it higher. Gene trapped on Friday. I'm like, dude, I really want this higher. So what do? I just nibbled enough, just a little bit, just get the feeling. Because I'm like, dude, I'm not going to take a giant position like this unless it gets to my areas. And this is my area up here, the 130 line. So right now, this is kind of like, indeterminate in the middle, kind of risky. This is not a 20 blackjack hand. I keep talking about blackjack as an analogy. Like, imagine if you can make a bet in blackjack casino without seeing the first. Imagine gambling and not having to put up money until you see your cards. That's what trading is. I don't have to enter a giant position. No one's forcing me. And so no one's forcing you. Imagine if you had 20 the dealer, if the dealer shows 6, you have 20, you bet more money. So that's what trading is, man. You don't have to put out the bet until you get an optimal setup. And there is no optimal setup on this. So, some may argue this is not a good trade, but I'm watching the action. I'm like, dude, I'm willing. This is my low-hanging play. I'm willing to get squeezed to 150 because it was tiny position, 2,500 shares. How much am I gonna lose? It goes up 20 cents. I lose $500. You know, for me, remember everything's relative. You can scale down to your level, but for me, like $500 is like, you know, just a feeler trade, right? So, um, so I really wanted the 140, man, and the 150. Never happened. Never even got to 130. Look at this. So that's all you can do. So that made me like $300. And then the next one here is let me move this over. WKHS. Dude, I wanted it much higher. I wanted much higher on this, man. I'm looking at this chart. 215 and then 247. So I wanted 247. I had fucking bunch of orders at the 250 line, hoping it goes maybe 3, you know, and people go, "What's your stop?" I don't really know because, like, dude, I put the order in there and it's a starter position. If it breaks 250 with authority, I'll probably cover and then wait for the $3 line. But it hasn't gone up there yet. So 215 was the line that I saw, the pivot line here. The high is 220. And that's why I started to nibble here. Tiny position. The added more when I saw it kind of like slow down to the 220. So I have it a top ticket. Shitty covers because I'm like thinking, dude, maybe they're gonna run it up. This is the only play, and you know, so these are all like nibble positions, man. I didn't think this thing is gonna tank from 220 down all the way down. I really thought this thing is gonna have a chance because everyone is thirsty for a play today, guys. And I'm thinking, man, if this started, and maybe if a chat room pump got in, they can really skyrocket. So I played a little safe. But then when it went down like this, I started just to scale every time it went back up. And, you know, I didn't make much, $300. But, you know, I was ready for it. I was ready for – and so, you know, for you, like, you know, just shows, like, if you want to scalp this, it doesn't take much size to make money. The most I would have with this is like 2,500 shares. You know? This is just like tiny position. 2,500 is like a $5,000 position. These are just like feeler trades, but even these feeler trades make money. You know, you can scalp it, you can see it, and so on a slow day like that, guys, I don't want to get blown out of the water by being greedy. Took what the market gave, man. There's no meat on this stock, and so I went small. I could do nothing, you know, like today. Today I woke up, I was like, "There's nothing. I could do nothing," or I could do these little feeler trades and then end up making $800, $900. I'm done for the day. This is not that much money for me relatively, but you know, like in hindsight, I mean, not in hindsight, but like in perspective, when I talked about how much I used to make as an engineer, and this is $900. This is fucking like a week of work, man. So I mean, and off of what? A $5,000 position, guys. All these positions I had was $5,000 positions each. 2,500 shares, 1,200 shares. Things like that add up. So you don't really need much money. And this is what Joe Kelly's talking about. Size. You don't need much size, guys, to make money. I'm using tiny size. For me, remember, it's all relative, right? For you, this could be an example of you are trading. This could be your account. So let's assume this is your account. Having a 1,200 share position, 2,500 share position on a $2 stock was all I used to make $900. If this thing had gone crazy, I'd fucking like, dude, I would love it. I would fucking size up at the 140, 150 and hopefully crashes down, make my 20 cents and be done for the day, make a few grand. You know, once again, you know, like it doesn't take much money. If you're consistent, does not take much money. Guys, let's review this once again. I mean, I'm here around, I mean, this is it. I trade an hour a day using 2,500 max size. You know what I'm saying? So $5,000 position. So can it be done? Yes, it can be done. And you know, all I did was scalp a little bit. I waited for it to come to my lines, and I scalped the first line. Remember, these are inner lines, so I have to be very small. They're, you know, so I traded really small. I'm waiting for for better setups, the 20 blackjack hands to go size. There's no reason for me to size because I'm feeling FOMO at the bottom. These are still at the bottom. This is like the bottom. So I took really small, and then it just happened to fucking collapse. And then I took my gains. That's it. There is, TBLT, same thing. $120 was the line, a TBLT. 120, I took the short. Covered down here. Tiny position, man, tiny, like 1,500 shares, made 10 cents, something like that. Tiny. I didn't get a full fill. I wanted 125. 125, I would have been in as a starter. And then 140, 130, 140, I was scaling, but it never happened. It never happened, guys. I took the money. So scalping, so when days are slow like this, guys, I like to use my lines just to make the scalp between line to line. You can do this every day too. TBLT right here, 120 was the line. I started 119. See, I use this line. I covered down at the 112, which is in between the 111 and the 115. So I use this line to cover. Slow as day, but if you think about it, guys, in trading, you don't need many trades to make money. Okay, your job as a trader is to find the good setups with a high probability that you like to make money on, and wait for it to happen. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I happen to trade like 4 stocks today, and they added up. $200 here, $300 there, it added up. This is by no means some sort of brag to make $900. This is like, in the grand scheme of things, this is not much money. But if I could do this every day, guys, with no stress, working an hour a day, an hour planning and an hour at the open, 2 hours a day, that's $250,000 a year, which is a lot of money. But like I said, man, you don't need to be a full-time trader to make money. The way I trade, the first hour, like Alex says, is the most, the time that you make the most money. And the rest of the time, you just kind of like give it back in so the point of today is this. Today is a slow day. It's going to be like this often, guys. This is trading. Exciting days, man. Exciting days come with a caveat, an asterisk. It's like, it's exciting for a reason. And it can be very stressful if you do not have proper risk management. So today like this, I'm thinking, like, for me, I would not be happy with this because I'm at a higher level, but I have to put things in perspective. Some days you're not going to make any money. Making $10 is better than losing $100. Your job as a trader is to wait for the opportunity to come. You are like a ninja assassin, you don't jump out in the middle of and then kill someone. You wait in the shadows and then boom, So with that in mind, let me stop and take some questions. Any questions so far, guys? Today is so slow, there's no questions either, see? So the point is, it doesn't take much money. It doesn't make touch size to make money. It's just knowing where to get in. Entries and then also exits, right? I got in where the lines are. Each one of these, I used my lines to get in. I took a small size. So sizing is important because you know what, man? I calculate the meat. I'm like, dude, if I'm wrong, I need to be able to add. So my whole thing is I'm not adding to a loser. That was part of my plan. If your plan was to add here and then add here and add here, and each time, and for me, only adding like 1,000 shares until it gets to the, the outer lines where I could start hammering more size, I'm okay with that, So remember, it's making the plan and then trading your plan. To be honest, I didn't even look at VWAP once waiting for this stuff. Let me take a look at VWAP to see what it looks like. I look at VWAP when I'm in trouble. It's weird like that. I keep forgetting to look at VWAP. So VWAP is 246. Look at that. My line is 244. VWAP is 246. The lines, the lines figure it out for myself. I don't need to look at VWAP. Let's look at Gene. Gene, 117. The line has 120. I'm just shorting the lines. The lines say everything. There, see, it's a resistance at the 120s, which coincides with the VWAP. Let's take a look at the next one, guys. Let's take a look at TBLT. VWAP 111. 111. I don't know how VWAP is that low. I guess it tanked and then all the volume was here, guys. But 111 is this bottom line here, see? And this is the pivot line. So VWAP happens to line up on the pivot line. And TBLT, I was shorting a little higher, higher. I'm shorting this line here. WKHS. WKHS, the VWAP is 201 right now. It's just sitting here at 201, nothing you do. I actually had a 207 short. Let me see why I did that. 207, I shorted up here. I was trying to do more size, but it was still open orders. Let me see. I had a partial. So I'm just shorting here, and then the next one will be here. So VWAP, if I use this chart, guys, it shows, so on your chart, put the VWAP in. So this line shows the VWAP. So WKS, I really thought it was going to bounce to 250. I thought this was the day it consolidated and it shot up to 220, so that's why I was nibbling small. So I was very surprised when it started taking down here. Who knows? It could trap and go up more during the zombie hours and late day, but that's what it was. And I'm just using these pivot lines to see where my next lines are. And the VWAP right now is 201, which is it doesn't really mean much when, well, it got back down here, but the volume is so damn low. And I don't even know how it traded 5 million, man. Sometimes I wonder, like, how these stocks that barely move trade 5 million. The algos are like washing trades back and forth. Who knows, but it's just, dude, this is just no trade. There's really no trade. I don't even know why I did this. I put this, it's one of these orders I forgot to cancel, Let me see, I'll take another question here. I was shorting OPTT off the 270 line. Day 3 trades covering that. I still don't have the confidence to work because no one else was there and can explain this one. So if you take a look at this, if you shorted this, is good. But remember, you always have to make a risk management. Okay, if you short OPTT, you have to. You made money, which is good. But if it broke the high, you need to stop out. If this is why we talk about panicking. So I started before the daily recap talk about panicking. I'll give you a very good example about panicking. You have to understand your own personality and what happens when the oh shit comes. Are you the type that do nothing? Are you the type that keep adding to a loser? Or are you the type that is going to just get the hell out? In my opinion, you have to get the hell out, at least half of your position. You need to get out at least half of your position. Do not be that guy that just freezes, okay? Because if you're going to freeze, what's going to happen? I guess freezing and doing nothing is better than panicking and adding to a loser. CPRX, I'd never traded CPRX. Don't know why. I fucking lost track of it. I didn't trade this. So this looks like the best trade of the day for a short. I never traded it. I did not trade it. This is what I looked at, and I set it up near the $4. So 380s all the way up to $4 and never hit there. I was too disciplined because I'm like, dude, I didn't know it was going to tank down. And then when it tanked down, I lost track of it. And I didn't chase it. And so that's it. I did not trade it. Let me see. Would be helpful to know what you're trading if you don't tell your entries. I trade the same stuff that you guys are trading, man. So if you take a look at what's on my screen, guys, this was what's on my screen in the morning. What's on my screen is the same thing that is on my screen every day, which is the low-hanging fruit, which is all the plays that are a hot plays for Friday, which are, so basically on my screen are all the low-hanging fruits, stuff that ran the previous day. These all ran the previous day. And these are the new ones. So I put the new ones on. CPRX in hindsight was good, but dude, you had to short that shit right at the open. And it didn't bounce for me to even short. So I was like, you know what? I missed it. I missed it. Any questions, guys? Today, I just wanted to show you, you know, things are slow, guys, but if you just wait for your couple of trades to hit, that's it, man. Don't need much. Now, I walked away with $900. I mean, trading super small size, just waiting for my areas, trading all the low hanging fruit stuff, and just, you know, and just waiting for it to happen. I mean, this is nothing to be bragging about, but the fact that, you know, this is trading, man. This is a job. This is not me coming in being a hero and trying to nail every stock. I'm just trying to trade the most easy setups I can, the easier setups I can. And if they don't come to my areas, I pass. That's all I could do. Same thing for CPRX. CPRX, who the hell? I'm looking back now. Oh, it's so obvious. $3.50 to $3. But at that time, I was like, nope, I lost track of it. I didn't do it. It hit high of 346. It just tanked, man. In the pre-market, it looked like it was up. So if you take a look at this in the pre-market, one day. So the CPRX intraday. There's no shot, man. Unless you shorted this pre-market, which you can. If you drew this, if you saw this line, 353, so anything under 353, you can consider it a break of trend, not necessarily a death line. But in hindsight, you look at it, I guess it could be a death line, but it's more of a break of trend. And then when it opened, it just collapsed. It was like too late for me, man. I'm like, dude, it's too late. This wasn't on my. I had blind orders near $4 just to nibble, just to, you know, but I missed it. If your lines are far apart, if my lines are far apart, I better cover when the line breaks. But if the next line is pretty close, then I will add that. So I add like 2 lines. It depends. Sometimes I add 3 lines. If for example, this is when I add 3 lines. I add 120, 130, 140, 150 because I want in Gene. I knew this thing is going to be a piece of shit. All I wanted was one quick boom and then a tank. It didn't happen. So plays that you know, it's like this is experience. I know Gene's a piece of crap, and then when it fails hard. You just have to be able to size correctly so that you don't get blown out of the water. So I always have a max size, guys. I always have a max size. Okay? So for me, my Gene starter max size is 10,000 shares. Already allocated that. Located 10,000 shares. 10,000 shares, I'm ready to go. It never happened. I'm only in 2,500. So even if I added 3 times, 120, 130, 140, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm still at 10,000 shares, max size. But, you know, but that's just starter. I mean, 10,000 is nothing for me, right? But at least like, what I wanted to do is this. It spikes up, and I'm scaling there. And then when I see it being topped, then I'll add to a winner. That's when I'll turn 10,000 shares into 20,000 shares by adding more upon. If it breaks down and every time it pops, I'll add more. So, you know, these are my starter positions. When I'm winning, then I can start sizing up. So that's the correct way to do it. Do not, you know, the beginner way would be you keep scaling to a loser, and then you end up your max size. The way to do it, in my opinion, is to have a smaller max size when you're scaling initially, and then add more to the winner. So if you wanted to do 10,000, like full max size, to me, there's a couple of max sizes, okay? There's a front side, max size, and there's a back side, max size. So don't think of just one max size. You have one ultimate. This is the max position I want to be in, only if things are optimal. That's your like all in kind of shit, max size. Okay. When I say all in, I don't mean your entire account. I just mean all in as into your max position. So like I'm willing to go, who knows, man, maybe 20,000 shares on Gene. So on the way up, I'm scaling. I'm only going to do 10,000. And this is the reason why I'm doing this, because it's day 2. There's low hanging fruit now. It's a day 2. If it was day 1, I'd be more careful. I mean, it doesn't take much size. And then when I'm in where I want, and then it starts to reject at 150 or going down, I'll add more to a winner. Each time we pop, I'll add more, and then I'll take it off at each line. Okay, do you increase your shares to average line? I mean, you can. You play around with it. I just do the, I do 1,200, and I do 2,000, I do 2,500. It just depends on. So basically, this is how it help. This is how it helps me. It's when I have a max size, and then I'll give you an example. Let's say 5,000 is my max size. It's like an allowance. Okay, when you're given an allowance as a kid, you have $5 to spend. You can spend it however you want. And so knowing that you have a max size or a max allowance makes you more frugal with your entries. So I'm like, dude, so knowing that I only have 5,000, I'm going to not do half of it at my initial entry. I'll start out with 1,200 shares, and then I'll do 2,000. So it depends on your level of confidence and what you see on the screen. So basically it comes down to, okay, you have your max size and it's your allowance. So it's up to you to allocate, where it is. So it makes you more frugal. So, that's why I always advocate everybody to have a max size, because if you have a larger account, man, I mean, think about it. This is only $1 stock. 10,000 shares is nothing. It's like $10,000 position. It's like nothing, right? But these small caps can run 20% in like one candle. 110 to 150 is 40% move. So you really don't need much size, guys, in small cap land. You need to know how to properly size for the scenario. Okay. For me, I'm doing very tiny shares for myself down here. I'm waiting for it to go back up, but if it doesn't go back up, I'm already in small. This is the reason I do this, because I want to be in. I know that I'm willing. If I enter at 120, I am okay with being squeezed all the way to 150. So I'm already in like 1,500 shares, 2,000 shares. 2,000 shares times 20-cent loss is $500. You see what I'm saying? If I'm in 20,000 shares, I'm already hurting. And when I cover 20,000 shares, I am the guy that's ripping each resistance line. So I'm doing myself damage. So oversizing in the wrong areas, you will become your worst nightmare, because now you are the guy that's going to buy that stock all the way back up or down, vice versa. And, so you have to size accordingly. What is the meat? I always think about what is the meat. I short at 120. How much can I make? I make 10 cents unless this thing falls out. If Gene had tanked underneath the $1, I might add on each pop, because the death line, everyone's underwater. Everybody, past 2 days, everybody's underwater. Remember we said the death line was at 97 cents. So if it's under $1, under 97 cents, everyone's dead. All the longs are dead. They're getting the hell out. So it gives me more. I can start adding bigger size. So once the stock is broken, its death line, that's when I really size up. In this case, there's hardly any meat. But in past examples, when the death line breaches, you still have a lot of meat. And that's when you start sizing with confidence. in the meantime, you just like, dude, I play it safe. I go small size until it gives me a confirmation signal. Either the death line comes, you know. I hope that answers some questions there. The question, guys. Today's kind of slow. Just wanted to show you guys some scalps around, and stick to your process, man. And so now you see what I do. Every day is not going to be a monster day. It would have been monster day or a bigger day or a nicer day if this thing had gone up to 150 and failed. I'm pretty sure if it was on 150 it failed. Because at 150, people, it's actually scary because it broke the high from Friday. It may go to $2. So you have to be very careful all the time. I don't like to max size out, like really big size, until the death line, guys. As a short seller, fuck, these small caps, like if they die, they'll die hard. But if they don't die and they have a little bit of health, they can zombie. It doesn't take much for these guys to ram it from 110 to 150 in a heartbeat, man. 100,000, 100, 200,000 market order, boom, you're dead. There's no volume. No one's selling. So you have to be careful. And that's why, in my opinion, you knowing where the true backside, I call that the true backside, which is the death line. The death line to me is a true backside. That's when there's different levels of backside, guys. That's why people are laughing a lot. Things like, the thing is, like, don't confuse like the death line with a change of trend. When the trend changes from bullish to bearish, that is the backside. So this is all backside, but doesn't mean that the backside cannot go back to the front side. The backside is not death. Okay? Backside just means change of trend is now bearish. It's going down. Does not mean it's game over. And so that's why I like to use the word death line for game over. In my opinion, this sucker goes under 97, it's fucking game over. Because every long is underwater. Too bad there's no meat. So, I'm not going to like go all out on this. But if this had ran a couple of days and then it breaches the death line, there's a lot of meat. And then that's when I start hammering it with size on all the pops. So, so you have your front side. Front side means it's still going up. Trend. Remember, front side, back side, to me, it denotes trend. Either bullish trend or bearish trend. And then the true death is the death line. Let me see. Can you give example sizing TTNP? TTNP. I really wanted the 180. I was willing to pay. So I really wanted 170. So in the morning, I looked at this. I'm like, shit, it keeps going down. So I kept putting my orders down. My orders were near $2. It never went back up. Then I started moving down. There's nothing to say about this sizing. These are the lines I work with. I mean, there's no meat, man. There's no meat on TTNP, guys. Even if you short at 175, where are you going to cover? For 10 cents? So that's why you have to do very small size, in my opinion. So it's always the risk reward as well. Like, where can this go, man? I'm not going to size up and be fully committed unless there's a lot of meat. And the meat comes around the $2 area. If this thing was $2, I'd be in, decent size. But it didn't. If this thing had gone up to 280 line, I'd be in decent size. And $3. Today it just happened to be nothing. The two good plays, I mentioned this. The crypto is the only thing today that is giving anybody any callus. MARA and Riot. So if you're a long side buy trader, you take a look at what's the callus, right? That's moving these stocks. Crypto is like, so everyone's moving their money to Bitcoins, I guess, but it's going up. Any questions, guys? Is there a minimum amount of volume? I don't really. Yeah, I looked at volume. I like to see at least a million volume. Anything under a million of volume on these, I'm like, eh, because I want to be the early guys that get stuck. So now we have Riot and we have MARA, and these are, it seems like the hot chicks of the play, man. That they're running because of the catalyst of the Bitcoin, and which is cool. Day one, I avoided the short. Day one, you could have went in on the long, and this is choppy as hell, man. This is very difficult. But knowing the lines and where to go, like you draw the line here, 450, 444. Those are your risk areas. 440. I mean, how much I could go down? It closed at 404. In hindsight, this was a good long. Even OPPT, I mean, it closed at 222. So even if you enter here, it's a safe. I mean, it's up and down 10 cents. So this is welcome to bear country, man. Not much movement on these stocks. Now the afternoon comes. To me, the long is in the morning. Now it's kind of risky in the afternoon. The play for me for these would be to wait until tomorrow and to see what it does and see if I can short it tomorrow. The safer longs are always in the morning, and then also at the zombie hour to see the zombie. 10:30 is here, so this zombie MARA around what time is this? This is 10:55, which is still within the zombie time. It's zombied up. Riot 10:30. Let me see when 10:30 is. 10:30 is here. It's zombied up. It consolidated around this line with zombied up. So these are the things you look at if you're a long side trader, in my opinion. You look at these low float stop stuff and see if they have potential to zombie. And they did. OPTT, those playing were hoping it's zombie. Didn't lose much. You're around the 250s. It's still the 250s. You're flat. So these were kind of safe plays. If you know where the stops are, the stops would have been under the 250 line, 247 line here. Game over, man. Everyone's down. So everyone's bottoming up here. So it goes underneath this notch here, which is the 248, which the line already, pivot line is 247. That's game over. So that's your stop. So that's a 10-cent stop. So if you took a little nibble for the zombie on this and you lost, it's okay. That's part of your plan. Well, part of the plan is always knowing where to stop out. So these were the potential ones for long side trading, and it worked out. So two of the three worked out. The reason is because Riot and MARA are Bitcoin related, crypto related, and those were the catalysts today. And it's been a long time since these ran. It's been a long time. So knowing that's been a long time, 15-day chart, you gotta, always risk management. But this is what happens, man. When things like haven't ran for a long time, and then finally you have shorts that cover, you have guys that are like stuck that want to get in. Cool, guys. Any last questions? I think we're gonna wrap it up. Slow day. We talked about panicking. Make sure that you always have a oh shit panic, fire alarm kind of thing. Know yourself, what type of person you are for panic. And then always be careful about every play like this. Cool, guys. I'll see you guys next time.